is safeguarding? Why do we need it? And your legal responsibility? What is safeguarding? Every child has the right to flourish safe from harm and abuse. As educational professionals, we strive to keep our children safe and healthy, and every school has a range of policies to support all staff to do this. With this in mind, we have designed this training to help you to understand the good practice of how to safeguard children and yourself. It's so important that everybody in school knows what to look out for and how to respond to disclosures and how to report any concerns. If you go into a school as a supply staff, do you have the same safeguarding responsibilities as permanent staff? Yes, you absolutely do, but your challenge can be greater. You need to understand the law. It's your responsibility to make sure that you keep up to date with safeguarding and child protection legislations and always act on concerns. All schools you work in should by law have safeguarding policies and procedures to ensure that every single child, regardless of their age, disability, gender, race, religion, or belief, sex, or sexual orientation, has a right to equal protection from harm. Every school will have a designated safeguarding officer, the DSO or DSP. In primary school, it is often the head teacher who has this role to play. Many schools will ask you to read and sign a safeguarding policy. Some will give you a badge to wear with a summary of the policy on it, and often you will see posters displayed. Now, the school should make it clear to all visitors, but for your own sake, if it is not obvious when you arrive at the school, make it a priority to find out about their policy of safeguarding and who the DSO is. Let's start by clarifying what we mean by safeguarding. Safeguarding is an action that is to promote the welfare of children and protect them from harm. It means protecting children from abuse and maltreatment, preventing harm to children's health or development, ensuring children grow up with the provision of safe and effective care. And finally, taking action to enable all children and young people to have the best outcomes. Child protection is a part of safeguarding process. It focuses on protecting individual children identified as suffering or likely to suffer significant harm. This includes child protection procedures, which tell us how to respond to corners about a child. Why do we need to be safeguarded? Well, let's look back to February 2000. Victoria Climby, aged 8, was tortured and murdered by her great aunt and her great aunt's boyfriend. Her death led to public inquiry and procedures, major changes in child protection policies in UK. During the abuse, Victoria was burnt with cigarettes, tied up for a period of longer than 24 hours, and hit with bike chains, hammers, and wires. Up to her death, the police and social service department of 4 local authorities, the National Health Service and the NSPCC, and local churches all had contact with her and noted the signs of abuse. However, in what the judge in the trial following Victoria's death described as blinding incompetence, they all failed to properly investigate the case. and the little action was taken. The great aunt and her boyfriend were convicted of murder and sentenced to life imprisonment. The inquiry uncovered the child protection staff missed at least 12 chances to save Victoria. Lord Lemming's final report, published January 23, concluded that the child protection system failed as a result of a lack of basic good practice by frontline staff, the most significantly senior managers, failing to take responsibility for the failings of their organizations. The report made 108 recommendations, and as a direct result of the government published its plan in 2003 in the Green Paper, Every Child Matters. Well, this was followed by the Children's Act of 2004, which allows the criteria of a national child database made up of local information hubs in 150 local authorities. Undoubtedly, the Victoria Climby case is beyond comprehension for most people, tragic and unimaginable. However, child abuse is more common than what people think. We don't know how many children are being abused because not all abuse is reported. But the most recent data tell us that in 1 year, a childline delivered nearly 20,000 counseling sessions to children in the UK where abuse was the primary concern. Around 1 in 20 of the sessions resulted in a referral to external agencies. In that same year, 55,000 children in England and Wales were looked after by their local authorities because of experiences of risk and abuse or neglect. 1 in 5 adults reported that they experience at least one form of child abuse before the age of 16 years. That's 8.5 million people in the UK itself. Many victims of the child abuse remain hidden. It is reported that around 1 in 7 adults who called a helpline in the latest year had not told anyone about their abuse before. So it is still remains a huge concern, and we must remember that many children will and always will suffer in silence. As teaching professionals, we therefore need to be alert to this and act when we can to help all our children. Legal responsibility, in addition to our moral responsibility to protect our children. We have a legal responsibility to ensure all of our children's rights are upheld. I'll assume you already know this, but let's take some time to revisit the UN Convention on the Rights of a Child, UNCRC. It is legally binding international agreement setting out the civil protection, economic, social, and cultural right of every child, regardless of their race, religion, or abilities. The UNCRC consists of 54 articles that set out children's rights and how governments should work together to make them available to all children under the term of convention. Central to this is an acknowledgement that every child has basic fundamental rights. These includes the right to life, survival and development, to protection from violence, abuse or neglect, to an education that enables children to fulfill their potential, to be raised by or have a relationship with their parents and to express their opinions and be listened to. If you don't safeguard and protect the children in your care, you are breaching the term of convention. You are the government's representative. You continue learning about safeguarding. Head over to video 2, which will take you through the signs you need to look out for. And I'm sure I wish you all educators a great luck doing safeguarding. Thank you.